Okay, welcome back to the I Help Men Dress Better podcast. I'm your host, Shlomo. I'm Shlomo Homnick. I'm a men's style and image coach, and I help men dress better by really helping them figure out what actually works for them specifically, be that their body type, their coloring, or just their life. Before I jump into what we're doing today, which is answering some of the internet's most asked style questions, please hit the bell, click subscribe, whatever platform you're using to listen to this. First of all, incredibly grateful. And second of all, it would really help me out if you left a comment, hit like, followed, whatever it is that you'd like to do, assuming that you enjoy the content. Please do that. Thank you. So I asked ChatGPT for the top 10 men's style questions. I actually got two lists, and they have some slightly different questions. So there's going to be a few more than 10. Last week, I spent all the time answering questions regarding how a suit should fit. You should absolutely check that episode out, as well as previous episodes if you haven't already. But today, we're going to see how many questions we can tackle. If one of them takes up 15 minutes, awesome. If it takes two or three, great. I'm also going to call myself out. I do have a beard. It is currently Sphira, which is a Jewish time of the year where you're not supposed to shave. So if I'm looking a little bedraggled, that is why. I cannot shave and cut my hair for religious reasons. There are exceptions, but I try not to go out of my way to seek exceptions. Moving right into most asked style questions. Question number 2, after how should a suit fit, is can I wear brown shoes with a black suit? It's a really interesting question. The answer that ChatGPT provided was traditionally black suits pair best with black shoes. Brown shoes are more suited to navy or gray suits. I agree, but I think there's some room for nuance. I don't think this is a bad answer. I think this is actually it's a pretty good starting point. So black is one of those colors that has some rules around it. Those aren't rules that can never be broken, but they are rules that are very helpful for beginners in pairing better outfits as far as color is concerned. So really dark colors can trick the eye. Colors, when they're next to each other, they affect how we perceive them. And color can really do a lot to trick the eye. So if you have black and then you have another really dark color, the two most common challenging colors with black are navy and brown. So brown, like specifically dark brown and dark navy. When you have certain shades of black and navy and you put them together, the issue isn't that they look like they don't look like each other. It's that they look too much like each other and it confuses the eye. So if you're wearing, let's say, a navy suit jacket and you don't have pants for it and you grab the pants from your black suit, they're gonna be too close, but just far enough that it looks wrong. So it's almost that it's fooling the eye, but not succeeding. And what that does is it makes it look unintentional. It makes it look like you didn't mean to put those things together or you did something wrong. There's something about putting two colors that don't go together. Like that's one challenge, but two colors that they don't go together because they're too close. It's the closeness and that makes the wrongness worse. If you're wearing a bluer navy, like a starker, more intense kind of royal navy or maybe a more purple navy, and you're pairing it with black in a way that doesn't look like it's meant to be exact, like it's meant to be a perfect match, that's a little different. There are shades of navy that do match black, and there are shades of brown that do match black. But in general, it's a decent rule that dark navies and dark browns to avoid wearing them with black. So shoes, this is where it gets a little more complicated. So this question was actually about shoes. So that color pairing, the examples that I gave were specifically with garments. So a suit jacket and suit pants that are brown and black or brown and navy or black and navy. because they're similar fabrics, the way we perceive those colors is the same. And so when they're paired, they look almost right. That trips us up. That's what makes it not work. Now, when it comes to shoes, generally shoes are made of leather. And when you get into other materials, the rules get a little softer. So brown shoes with a black suit, there are shades of brown that could work. I personally really like more of a medium tan color with black. I think it can look really nice. But darker chocolate browns, they tend to just look a little off. So I do agree with that. But I think that there are redder shades of brown, somewhere between like an oxblood, which is more like a burgundy kind of color. Something between like an oxblood and a brown. Once it's maybe a little redder, it could work with black, but those more orangey brown, true chocolate browns, yeah, that is a challenging pairing. As far as brown shoes going with navy suits, there are people, they exist, who think that brown shoes do not go with navy suits for the same reason that brown and black don't work and navy and black don't work. I don't fully agree with those people. You have to, I would say most of the time, yes. And there may be a shade of navy and a shade of brown that specifically don't work, but for the most part, yes. And of course, gray suits, always an excellent pairing. Though I do find that a more tan color is a lot more versatile than a true chocolate brown, specifically for this reason. So yeah, if you are shopping brown, try something in the medium to lighter range, unless you already own something like that and you specifically want a chocolate brown. So yeah, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments, if what you think about pairing those colors specifically, and if you think that leather paired with fabric changes what colors work. Because I'm a big fan of black shoes with navy suits, and some people are not. I believe that black leather works with navy because of the way the materials are different. Some people would disagree, and I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. We do have time for another one, so let's go. Let's see. Question number 3. How do I match my belt with my shoes? And the answer that it gives, okay, so this is the answer that it gives, and I think this is answering the wrong question. Your belt and shoes should be in the same color family. Oh, okay, no, this is good. Your belt and shoes should be in the same color family. Exact matches aren't necessary, but they should complement each other. Yes, I'm a big fan of this. I have actually gotten heat and criticism in certain forums for following this rule. I think that, first of all, this is a lot more realistic. It's very, very hard to actually buy pieces that are made of the exact same leather in the exact same color. Of course, you can go to a brand and buy shoes and buy a belt from the same brand and actually get the exact same color, the exact same leather. Sometimes that can actually look a little bit too put on. It looks a little bit too self-serious. Of course, you want to look intentional when you get dressed, but there's a relatable realism that comes from pieces not being exact. It makes you feel more like a real person. Like, oh, I bought this belt and I bought these shoes, and there's coordination, but they're not exact. So yeah, I do agree that they should be in the same color family. I think there are times when you can play around with belts and shoes not matching. I've had situations where I'll use a belt as a color pop. That's a lot of fun. Sometimes, like I have a brown belt that leans a little more red, so it actually does work with black. So that's relevant to the last question. It leans a little bit more reddish toned, and so it actually does work with black. And I've built outfits where it's all black and then that belt. I'm not saying that this is for everyone, but it can be done where the belt, it's not matching the shoes, but the shoes are matching something else. So you can play around with different areas of matching. It doesn't have to specifically be all your leathers matching. And this can apply to metals as well. Having all your metals match versus having a mix of metals and just making sure that there's something being referenced somewhere else in the outfit. And once again, it's that intention, right? I'm not wearing the belt. I'm not going in and pairing this belt with an outfit just to hold my pants up. I've chosen this belt specifically because it's not directly matching the shoes, because everything else in the outfit is one thing, and this is the piece that I've chosen to stand out. So there's an intention there. Intention is pretty much the most important piece of good style. Of course, you have to know the rules. So that's part of intention, is understanding the rules so that you're making informed decisions. And that's how you get to intentional outcomes. But that intention can break the rules and still work because of said intention. And if you want, you could have a drinking game and take a shot every time I say the word intention. We're nearing the 15-minute mark. I do try to keep these podcasts to the 15-minute point, and I've been going over a lot, so I'm going to stop it here. We covered 2 questions. How can brown shoes match black pants? And how do I match my shoes and belt? Hopefully this has given you some insight into how to apply these into real life. Hopefully these have given you applicable advice in your, to your current wardrobe today. If you are looking to expand your knowledge base in, as far as style is concerned, if you are going through some transition in your life where now you're expected to dress differently than you did before, or maybe you've gone through a big transition and you're not the person that you used to be and you're trying to figure out who this new person looks like, hit me up. Check out my LinkedIn page, Shlomo Homnick, bright pink banner, you can't miss it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave me a comment, and I don't know if there are DMs on YouTube, so probably the best place to reach me would be LinkedIn. If you're listening to this on Spotify, I would also love to hear your thoughts in a comment. And like I said, if you're going through these transition points or you've gone through these transition points and style is an area that you're looking to work on, check out my LinkedIn, reach out to me, send me a DM. I have a style quiz in my bio where you can find your style archetype, and that will really help you figure out sort of the direction of your character and how he/you would dress. I think it's a really fun quiz and it's a really helpful starting point. But if this is something that you're interested in, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you and see how I can help you in whatever capacity. This is the I Help Men Dress Better podcast. I appreciate you coming here and listening, and I will see you next week with some more of the top 10 questions, the internet's top 10 asked questions about men's style. Take care. Have a great one.